if you're earning $200,000 from a client, right? You might say, well, yeah, I'd be comfortable in investing $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, right? To land a $200,000 client or a client that's gonna be worth $200,000 to me. But how much do most consultants spend on their marketing? Right? Very little. The value of one client is really important for you to know. The better that you understand how much your average client is worth to you, the better decisions you can make in regards to your marketing. Consultants, we are a bunch of typically quite conservative people, right? We're not necessarily excited at first glance or kind of in a normal state about going out there and spending a lot of money on marketing. What I've observed in working with consultants in our Clarity Coaching program, where I work with consultants personally over the last 11 years, is that many consultants are not really thinking about how much money can they spend on marketing to grow their business. They're actually thinking about how can I spend as little money as possible. Now, if you look at the most successful companies of our time, most, if not all of them, are focused on growth. And one of the things that they look at to support that growth is marketing, right? And they continue to make investments into marketing as a way to grow the business. But consultants, on the other hand, are not always looking at how can they invest in marketing. They're looking at, again, what can they do to reduce their expenses. But if you want to grow, if you want to achieve greater success, if you want to increase your income, if you want to have a bigger impact, if you want to serve more people, then it's important that you get really clear about what is the value of one client to you. And here's why. Because let's just say that you've identified that your typical engagement is $100,000. Well, how much money are you spending right now on marketing to acquire that one client? And let's say, further that your clients typically stay with you for 3 years. So their lifetime value, if it's a $100,000 project, and maybe there's typically another 2 follow-on projects that are $50,000, that means that your lifetime value per client on average is $200,000. Well, how much of that $200,000 would you be comfortable quote unquote kind of giving away or investing in marketing to acquire one new client? Would you be comfortable investing $10,000? Would you be comfortable investing, and would you be excited, I should say, to invest $20,000? How about $50,000? How about $75,000, right? If you're earning $200,000 from a client, right, you might say, well, yeah, I'd be comfortable in investing $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, right, to land a $200,000 client or a client that's gonna be worth $200,000 to me. But how much do most consultants spend on their marketing? Right? Very little. Maybe a few $100, maybe $1,000. But imagine the possibilities that become open to you when you look at your marketing and investing in your marketing, not just based on how much money you're currently spending, not as an expense, but actually on how making that investment will allow you to get in front of more ideal clients that are worth significantly more to you, right? So think about what you can do from, instead of spending $100 per client or $1,000 per client, if you start thinking about how can I spend $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, right? And it becomes exciting because sure, you're still parting with money, but if you know that what you're doing is going to help you to get in front of your ideal client in a meaningful way, and help you to land more projects and help you to stand out significantly more than your competitors and others in the marketplace, because you are now making those investments to create that relationship, to stay top of mind with your ideal clients. That's exciting stuff, and it's also very powerful. So I'm not here to suggest that you should just start throwing money at your marketing and hoping that things work out. What I'm suggesting is that you look at the value of one client on average to your business. And then you start thinking about how can you make investments into your business, into your marketing, into what you're doing to get support for your business, anything that really helps your business to grow. And when you think and kind of filter through that in comparison to the value of one new client, it opens up a whole host of new opportunities that otherwise you wouldn't have even looked at. Right? Maybe you hesitated sending out direct mail pieces or FedEx packages or something like that because you thought the cost was too much. Maybe you hesitated sending some gifts or different things because you thought, well, that's money. But if you start now seeing the value of one client is X, And you're then going to become much more comfortable investing, why into that, because the equation works. So while while many people around you are thinking about how can we spend as little as possible, and I don't want to make this investment, I don't want to spend this much money here and this much money over there, you have the bigger mindset, right? You're thinking long-term, you're thinking value creation, you're thinking lifetime value, and therefore you're now able to start seeing new opportunities to make investments, to grow your business that others around you aren't. That's how you get an edge, that's how you create an advantage, that's how you move to higher levels of success in your business. If you want to get posted and notified when we share new videos, new insights, new best practices, case studies, and so forth with you to help you to grow your consulting business, be sure to hit the subscribe button here or follow on LinkedIn.